August, electric car sales in the United States hit an all-time record. Remarkable numbers, 10%. 1 in every 10 cars sold in the country was fully electric. Now, it has been falsely reported by Electric that Tesla sales continued to fall. Actually, they didn't. Now, if you hate Tesla, well, I'm not trying to make a point here. I'm just trying to make a point that consider where you get your news from, because you might be being misled. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. I first read these news articles, guys, and I saw this decline in Tesla sales reported by a couple of sites. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's quite a surprise to me. I would have thought that August would have been a really good month for Tesla. It wasn't a great month, but their sales didn't go down, as has been falsely reported. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. So everyone went up. Tesla did go up by 3%. Not the kind of great result I think Tesla would have been expecting, but was up 3%, not down 6.7% year over year as Electric reported. That's a big difference, down 7% or up 3%. Anyway, the truth is electric car sales in the US actually rose significantly, and a lot of the increase was actually General Motors. General Motors had their best sales month ever. I think they sold around 24,000 electric cars, which was fantastic for them. They're predicting that September will be good too, but then after that, their EV sales are going to collapse. General Motors are basically saying that. Now, looking at the numbers, it's actually quite interesting to see because the average transaction price was quite high. 146,332 electric cars were sold in the US, which, comparing that to China, quite interesting because China sold more than 700,000 in August. Now, I should point out, though, other positive news. EV sales were up by 9% from July. So July was a really good month, but August up 9% on July, so even better. Of course, with the federal EV tax credit expiring on the 30th of September, analysts say that Q3 will be a record. It'll be the highest 3 months of sales in history. But then Q4 is going to be a complete disaster. Now, to give you some context, the previous highest quarter on record was 2024 Q4. That's when 365,824 electric cars were sold. If you look at the month of August, right, which was 146,000, it's possible we could see 440,000 sales for the third quarter of the year, which would be a record by nearly 80,000. That would be a great quarter. Now, the average transaction price was quite high. It's surprising. The numbers are kind of weird, guys. Can you explain this to me? This is kind of a strange situation here. Transaction price was 57,000 US dollars on average, 57,200, 3.1% higher than July, which was 55,000. But here's the thing. The average EV discount that buyers received, and I'm not talking about the tax credit, 7,500, but a discount on top of that was 9,000 US dollars. That's equal to 16% of the average transaction price. So average discount of 9,000. And yet the average transaction price went up to 57,000, which is quite high. I mean, that's more expensive than pretty much every mainstream Tesla vehicle that Tesla sell. I mean, you've only got the Model S, the Model X, and the Cybertruck that are really more expensive than that are really up around, up 57,000 and above. So it wouldn't probably be Tesla's average transaction price that's high. Now, I should mention that Tesla still is the US EV sales leader by far. Its average transaction price actually increased by 2.9% to 54,500. So Tesla's average transaction price was 3,000 US dollars lower than the average in the US. But the thing is, that average number in the US for non-Tesla cars would actually be closer to around 60,000 US dollars because Tesla's is lower. So if you balance it out, the average transaction price for a Tesla was 54,000. The average transaction price for a non-Tesla was 60,000 US dollars. That's kind of strange. It's remarkable that the average transaction price is so high for non-Tesla vehicles. I mean, $60,000, guys. For you guys in Australia, to give some context, that's nearly 100,000 Australian dollars. That's really quite high. I'm kind of like baffled at the very high average transaction prices we're seeing. Stephanie Valdez Streety, senior analyst at Cox Automotive, and they're the team behind the numbers here. She said, the one constant in the automotive business is that fresh product sells well. While Tesla's Model Y update has slowed the company's sales decline, it's not getting easier for the EV pioneer because the market is now flooded with all new, fresh EVs from mainstream competitors. Consumers have more choice than ever. The current surge in EV sales is being driven by product innovation, motivated dealers, and an urgency ahead of the IRA tax credit phase out. And there's also probably the fact with Tesla, of course, politics have played a role. There's no doubt that turned some people off buying a Tesla. Of course, some people don't care about that, but others do. We're all different. So, interesting to see this happening. But it is, I think, Tesla can rebound a little bit, possibly with the new Tesla Model Y L, the 6-seat version of the Model Y, plus the cheaper version of the Model Y. That could help as well. But guys, I really hope that electric car sales in the US don't crash. I mean, I'd be so disappointed if that were to happen. 10%, it's good, but it's already so far behind European countries. It's already so far behind China. If the US fell to, say, 5%, it would be terrible. It would just be like really going backwards, especially with this new battery technology. Think about it this way, right? The high end of EVs are going to get solid state batteries. Yeah, they're going to be more than the new ones are providing 800 plus miles of range. So that's the high end. But the lower end, the mid end, they're going to get these new sodium ion batteries from Cadel and from other manufacturers, 175 watt hours per kilogram, higher energy density than BYD's Blade battery, lasts for up to 5 million miles. And they work really well in cold temperatures, in extreme cold, extreme hot, much better than traditional lithium batteries, and they're half the price. So if the US falls further behind in EV sales compared to other countries, EV sales in other countries are going to skyrocket. They really are because of these new innovations, this new technology. So I hope that people in the US continue to buy electric cars even after the EV tax credit is phased out. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Pretty good news here for Tesla. Their China sales figures have increased pretty significantly. They actually sold 83,200 China-made cars in August, which was a decline of 4% versus last year, but still actually a very good month. And they're about to begin selling the new Tesla Model Y L along with the Tesla Model 3 Plus.